Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a recommendation video for a trope that you guys have requested. We're going to be talking about the brother's best friend trope, which is a super popular trope in the romantic genre. You guys asked for it, so here I am. I'm going to be blatantly honest right now. My speech at the moment is rotten. Okay, so I may be fumbling and mumbling over my words right now. I'm blaming it on Mercury retrograde, okay? Okay, Mercury is my planet, I'm a Gemini, so when this shit is retrograde, so am I. If you're new to my channel, these will be new recommendations. If you're not new, you will have maybe heard me talk about some of these books, but you know what? It happens. Before we get into the recommendations, I want to talk about Beducated. Now, you may have heard me speak about Beducated before. If you didn't know what Beducated is, it's kind of like Netflix, but for sexual wellness. It's an online platform that has tons of different videos to do with sex, relationships, kinks. Beducated has a specific course called Emotional Intimacy, and this course specifically focuses on what a relationship is, internal and external processing, naming feelings, the selfish conversation, love languages, and core needs. If you're in a long-term relationship or you're entering one, or you're just curious to learn what a relationship is like, these types of courses give you the knowledge that you need to better your relationship, better yourself, and also improve the intimacy that you share between yourself and others. Hours and hours of footage and courses on Beducated. I do have a code with Beducated, which is just Mary, and that gives you 70% off your monthly payments for the subscription service, and this is locked in forever. So if you use this code, it doesn't just disappear and you have to pay normal prices after a year. My code gives you 70% off forever. Also, you can try Beducated for the first 24 hours for free before having to make a payment. Everything is linked down below, my code as well as the link directly to Beducated. So with that said, baby, let's get into the video. The first one I want to talk about is The Silent Waters by Britney C. Cherry, and this is the Element series book 3. I love this series. This is the second book in the series that I have read. Even though it's the third book, I haven't read them in order, but this one specifically is a brother's best friend trope. And I found this super sweet and heartwarming and gut-wrenching, and it just gave me all the feels. It's about this girl who is obsessed with her brother's best friend when they're kids and is kind of annoyed by her obsession. But something really traumatic happens to this girl and she ends up being mute. And as she grows and struggles with her trauma, she builds a really beautiful relationship with her brother's best friend, and it is just the most sweetest thing. There's so much love and connection there, but things are just a little bit hard because of the fact that she is mute and also the trauma that she has to deal with and is dealing with on a daily basis. Such a beautiful book. As I said, this series, the what is it called again? The Element series is just gut-wrenching. Okay, I love The Gravity of Us as well. That made me cry, as well as this one. We've got Serenading Heartbreak from Ella Fields, which is one of my favorite books from Ella and one of my favorites for this trope. And it's about this girl who ends up falling in love with her brother's best friend, and she loses her virginity with him, and then he disappears. He leaves her, and then he returns years later and he wants to be in her life again, but she is extremely hurt by him leaving her the way he did. And there's some struggles. He is definitely someone who carries some trauma and some issues, and she is dealing with a lot of his shit constantly. It's a really beautiful book. I will warn you, there is a love triangle in here. A lot of people don't enjoy love triangles, whereas with me, I love a love triangle. It adds some flavor. It adds a little bit of spice and drama to the story. The Truth About Heartbreak is one that I talk about all the time. So this is about a girl who falls for her foster brother's best friend. And again, this girl carries a lot of trauma. She's dealing with a lot. You know, she's had a hard life, and she builds this beautiful relationship with her brother's best friend. But unfortunately, there's things that just keep getting in the way of them being together. It is quite beautiful, very frustrating, but it is beautiful. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover is a fucking classic, baby. Everyone loves Ugly Love, and again, brother's best friend, about this girl who falls for her brother's best friend, and he has so much trauma. I don't know why, but the brother's best friend trope always has like at least one or both characters carrying so much trauma and dealing with so much shit. But he, the brother's best friend, does not want a relationship. He's given up on love. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to love. He doesn't want to get involved with anyone. But he's attracted to her. She's attracted to him. And they end up sleeping together. And things get a little bit difficult because she wants more, but he can't give her more. So I recently read this, and this is Twisted Love. This is book 1 in this Twisted series by Anna Huang. I think that's how you say her last name. I must look that up and see if I'm saying it correctly. But this is very interesting. I really liked this book, and I believe that this was the first book this author came out with. But again, brother's best friend, and it's about this girl who hates her brother's best friend. He is just a really cold person who is just void of emotion. Hard exterior. Her brother ends up leaving and is scared to leave her home alone. The brother asks the best friend to move in next door to keep an eye on her, and at first he's like, absolutely not, but then he does. And then they're forced to kind of like hang out with each other. And she like goes over there to like see him and hang out with him, and their relationship develops from there. He is super possessive, this brother's best friend, okay? Super possessive, very protective over this girl. And you know, shit happens. I lolled really hard in a lot of this book. Okay, there was a lot of really funny moments. We also have Under Lock by Mariana Zapata. Now, Mariana isn't one of my favorite authors. She's a slow burn author. And I personally don't necessarily enjoy how slow her slow burns are. But this was a book that I really, really liked. So it's about this girl who ends up moving back. It was a while ago when I read it. She moves back to where her brother lives, and she gets a job with her brother's best friend. And her brother's best friend works in a tattoo studio. Okay? He's also like in a bikie gang type of thing. It's like an MC type of romance, but it's not as like heavy on the MC situation. And yeah, she ends up working for him, and the banter, the connection, the angst is there instantly, baby. And I really did enjoy this. Out of all of Mariana's books, this was the only one that I've been able to complete. The other ones I haven't been able to because they've been too big. This one though, I read within 2 days, and I loved every minute of it. Then we have Burnout by Corylene June. I've talked about this book so much. It's a student-teacher relationship, but the age gap isn't too big. It's actually quite a small age gap, so it doesn't like gross you out or anything. And the student ends up falling for her teacher, but her teacher's not only her teacher, but it is her brother's best friend. Okay, and she has to live with them. Yeah. It's a good book. I really, really liked it. Then we've got Bad Habit by Charlie Rose. I read this like 2 years ago. I can barely remember it, but I remember reading it after I read After, and I was like obsessed with it. It's about this girl who like was so madly in love with her brother's best friend, and then he ditched her. He literally like left her, and then he comes back years later and he like hates her. So it's a bit of like a brother's best friend, enemies to lovers type of situation, and it was a book that I just remember devouring in like one sitting. So if you're someone that's into like After and those types of books, you'll really like Bad Habit. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. They're like the brother's best friend books that I have read, that I suggest. Again, I want to like make a statement. I don't really go into books because of their tropes. When I first started reading, I discovered age gap romances, and then I read a lot of them because I really do like them. I don't read books based off their tropes now. I more so just pick up the book, and if it sounds good, I read it. So it's hard to actually make these these trope suggestion videos now because, yeah, I just don't read a ton of one trope at a time. I kind of just dip into all different tropes and different genres, subgenres in romance. Yeah, but anyway, this video has been actually kind of hard for me to film. You guys, I've not been well. I've been an unwell gal. And I'm very much struggling with concentration and just like talking. I'm just like a mess right now. But anyway, so I'm sorry if this video wasn't very long or you didn't get much from it, I hope these suggestions tickled your fancy. Check them out if you're interested. And also check out Beducated if you haven't already. I really highly suggest it. It's actually quite fascinating. And me and my partner love watching some of the courses and like the videos that are available. It's so interesting, honestly. And they do, like, I said this in my video that I did with them last time, like my kink video. They do videos and courses on kinks. Don't forget to use my code Mary if you're interested. That will give you 70% off. And the link is down below. I very much suggest you check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for dealing with me and putting up with my stutter mouth and my lack of energy. Yeah, thumbs it up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!